I walked in to see this amazing sight. This is the first time I'm seeing this. But I'm thankful to God for what He's doing. I'm thankful to God for who He is and what He's accomplishing. He's doing miraculous things, and He's doing it not just through the adult, but through the youth thing, in just a fantastic way. I thank God that at AUM, God just showed me a glimpse of what it is to be a shepherd. And I have to say, the first word that came into my mind to describe it is painful. And I tried to do evangelism on campus, but I set myself to do some praying in campus because I wanted to find God a little stronger myself in the place. And when I did so, from that moment on, I've heard ministers and pastors say that, I've read it in some books too, that when you walk in your calling as a child of God, truthfully, you feel like a stranger where you are. And that was the first time I genuinely felt like an honest to goodness stranger in a long time where I was. And I felt the presence of God with me ever since He allowed me to pray that morning. But I just was so surprised at the sacrifices people have to make to serve God. The sense of being different that you would have to experience, that you go to people making yourself vulnerable. And it's not that God is sending you to people and just blocking their minds and making them agree with everything you say. You will truthfully be vulnerable. And it brought Pastor Brian, it brought Pastor McNeil, it brought Bishop to my mind. And I just think to myself that these people do this as not in a money way of speaking, but as their life. They've made it their life. And when I made that prayer to God to use me as a vessel, sometimes you don't understand what you're asking for, to be honest. And what God had really shown me was that, and Pastor Brian put it simply to me, is what you're chasing after is God's applause. And what I had to ask myself is, how much does that actually matter to me? It wasn't just about, for the glory of God, and then just saying that as a sentence. How much do I actually care about God's approval at the sacrifice of my own will and what I want? And God showed me a little bit of that today when I was in my work. And a coworker of mine had told me that he did not believe in God. And I didn't have a whole lot to say, to be honest. I felt God telling me to say something, but I didn't want to be honest, because he seemed kind of rough, but
Come on, Emmanuel, tell the truth, say the jail.
All I did was ask him why, and this was something that I was expecting to be like, I ask him why, and they'll just be like, and walk away from me. He looks at me, he says, "Why do you believe?" And I started answering this question, but what I thank God for was that when I talked to people, they closed the door immediately. He had to clock out, but he looks at me, he says he'll get back to me. Basically, we're going to continue that conversation. And it would have never happened had I never asked him why. And I thank God for that, because He shows me every day that when you ask and you go out and you evangelize, you are honestly not in control. You have to trust Him as best as you can. And doing that allowed me to feel the pleasure of God and even evangelize two more ladies who, before I could even describe to them about the church, they told me they already heard about it. And everything they've heard is good. So He knows that character, reputation is preceding us, and I give God all the glory.
Yeah.